A question we get all the time is, how do you pay for stuff in a foreign country that uses a different currency? Do you take out money before going to that country? Do you go to a currency exchange? What do I do if I need cash and I run out while I'm over there? Can't you just pay for everything with a credit card these days? So in this video, I want to quickly break down how to pay for things when traveling internationally. There's more than one way to go about this for sure, but there's some real mistakes you want to avoid. The first tip is, even though more and more of the world is going cashless, in many destinations, it's still a good idea to have some local cash on hand. If you've been around Away Together very long at all, you know that. I'm a points and miles junkie. I always have travel rewards credit cards with me, and I think other travelers should too. Just make sure there's no foreign transaction fees. But during our travels, I run into many cafes, shops, taxis, sites, etc. that are cash only. And I know that seems a little bit inconvenient, especially if you're used to a cashless way of life, but it's a fact of life in some of these places. So when and how do you get foreign currency? I'm gonna tell you a few options as well as what I personally do. Some people like to get cash before their trip. It's one less item on the list, it's one less thing to stress about, and I get that. If you wanna do this, the best way to do it with the best rate is to order it from your financial institution or credit union. And you definitely can do this, although I don't think you should stress out about getting a bunch of local cash or like all the cash you would need to pay for your entire trip, because traveling with too much cash can be a risk. Plus, what if you're hitting multiple destinations, right? Let's say you're visiting Prague, Budapest, and Krakow. They may all be close together, but each one of those is in a different country that uses a different currency. Now, some people like to travel with enough local cash to hold them over for the first 24 hours or so. And I think this is really wise, especially if you're planning to land late in the evening and you need transportation to your accommodations. What I don't recommend doing is using the airport currency exchange when you arrive. They can charge whatever conversion rate they want because they're relying on you thinking that you have no other option. I've been traveling internationally for years, and I've never once gone to a currency exchange or gotten foreign currency before my trip. We once traveled full-time for 6 months to 17 countries and never once hit a currency exchange. When we need cash, we use an ATM, preferably located at a bank in our destination during banking hours. The second option is a bank ATM not at the bank. But the reason I recommend using one at the bank during banking hours is in case your card gets stuck. This happened on our honeymoon. It was on a Sunday. I never got that card back. Don't take out crazy amounts of cash. I end up going to the ATM maybe twice during a 10-day trip. I would also avoid independent ATMs and in general be skeptical of ATMs or really anything related to money in an airport or arrivals hall. Always use your debit card to withdraw cash. And I highly recommend using a debit card with no ATM fees. Your bank may have a good option for you already, but when we were traveling full time, I used the Charles Schwab bank card. I think that's a good option with no fees. Just don't use a credit card. That may sound obvious to some of you, but this will be considered a cash advance, and it comes with a super high interest rate. When you use ATMs, if you're presented with something called dynamic currency conversion, reject it. This is basically an upcharge opportunity. It's nonsense. They're relying on you not understanding the conversion rate, and you just don't need it. Just accept the local currency at the standard rate. Similarly, when you're paying for things at a restaurant, if you use a card, you might be presented with an option to pay in your home country's currency. The same kind of thing is at play here. It's completely unnecessary. Just decline and just pay in the local currency. Also, if you're ever unsure what the local tipping customs are in a foreign country, you can use a free app called Globe Tips that'll give you the rundown on what the tipping etiquette is. Hey, I would love your thoughts on this new video format. If you'd like to see more videos like this one where we answer your travel questions, comment question below. And if you're prepping for a trip and you want to know about more cool apps to download that will make your life easier as a traveler, check out this video. Thanks so much for watching. Happy travels.